Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's movie blog. I am the critic who has a cynic. Hope you're doing well. And today we've got some more movie delays, and one of them is my most anticipated, or was my most anticipated film of the year 2020. The good news is that it's still coming out in 2020. The bad news is that instead of it coming out in June for a huge summer box office release, it is now being pushed back into the Christmas release schedule, not getting released to December of this year. So Top Gun Maverick, or Top Gun 2, unfortunately, has now been pushed back. This is something that I was afraid was most likely going to happen. I guess the silver lining is that at least it wasn't pushed back to 2021, but it was pushed back basically as far as you could go before entering into 2021. So that, of course, makes me very sad because I am very much looking forward to it. We also have now some release dates that have been announced for films that were pushed back without any actual release dates put in there. Again, they were delayed indefinitely. We have a couple of films like that we now finally have some release dates for. So let's go ahead and dive into this article from Deadline. So Paramount just made some recent release date changes given the unpredictable stuff going on with the beer bug climate. The long-awaited Tom Cruise Skydance sequel, Top Gun Maverick, is now going December 23rd. I know where I will be on December 23rd instead of June 24th. Again, that cuts to the quick. That hurts because I have been very much looking forward to that film ever since that first trailer dropped and we saw that amazing cinematography inside fighter jets. I just can't wait for it. This will push back the Chris Pratt sci-fi Skydance movie, The Tomorrow War, to an unset date. So now we have a release date for this film, but Chris Pratt's film has now been put into that until further notice category. The SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run, will debut on July 31st instead of Memorial Day weekend, May 22nd. So that is still set to come out this year over the summer. And A Quiet Place Part 2, another one of my most anticipated films of the year, which was originally set to go March 20th. And man, oh man, I would have loved to have seen that opening night about a month ago at this point, or less than a month ago at this point, before getting pulled from the calendar because of all the stuff that was going on with CV. But this will now open on September 4th. So this is now getting a Labor Day weekend opening, which, you know what, to be honest, I'm okay with that. September is a very good time of the year, I think, for a film like A Quiet Place Part 2 to come out, just because of the creepy nature of the story itself. It probably would have been better suited in October, but I imagine a lot of these studios are looking around saying, okay, what can we get the best weekends for that have the best histories as far as box office weekends go and will not have that much competition compared to other films. But even though these films are now getting set in certain places, don't be surprised if other studios start to choose their weekends and potentially cause some chaos down the road about us having too many movies coming out at the same time. I know the movies that I know I want to see opening night, but of course there's a lot of other people out there in the world that only see so many movies a year and could very well be swayed one way or the number. The following changes cuts far deeper into the summer calendar with an unexpected date as to when exhibition will reopen on full blast. AMC is hoping to reopen its circuit in early June. New York City and Mayor movie-going market remains besieged with over 45,000 cases, grabbing more than half of the entire state. So even though AMC is wanting to reopen, there are definitely parts of the country where that is not likely going to happen as quickly as possible. We also have some other releases as well. Minions: The Rise of Gru. I know everyone who watches this channel was really looking forward to this, but Minions: The Rise of Gru, Sing 2 have now been pushed into 2021, and Wicked is still brewing, meaning I believe that it is now kind of in this ethereal, we don't exactly know when it's going to happen. So what we have here is last week, Illumination Universal's Minions stepped off its global release, which had been set for late June in some offshore markets and for July 3rd domestically. It has now been scheduled for July 2nd, 2021. So another film that's been delayed an entire year. This summer is looking like it's going to be the saddest box office on record because all of the major releases that were going to bring in lots of money and lots of cash have now moved past into the next year. So that's definitely going to be pretty big. Let's see. Taking the slot that belonged to Sing 2, which in turn now is headed to Christmas 2021, December 22nd at that point. So basically, since Sing 2 is in Universal's canon or in Universal's control, they're able to basically say, okay, we want Minions to have the better release date, so we'll push you back to Christmas. And Sing 2 could still very well do okay over Christmas next year, but still, a lot of these things being pushed back. Universal has also thus pushed Wicked off of its holiday 2021 launch, and that film remains undecided undated for the moment. So are we ever going to get this live action rendition of the musical Wicked? I honestly do not know, because it is now in this limbo state of not knowing where it's going to release. I imagine they still want Wicked to be a holiday release because that is going to be where it has big money. So if I were a betting man, I would say Universal's either going to have it be released in the summer of 2022, or if they really want to wait, the spring, or rather the winter of 2022, which again would be another major pushback at this point in time. And then it goes on to talk about how they've already pushed back James Bond, towards November, and also Fast and Furious 9 has now been pushed back to Easter weekend of April 2nd, 2021, which I know everyone, oh my goodness, yes, absolutely, Easter film, Fast and Furious 9 has its name written all over it. But also, we have here some other news just about general film going in general. And this is the reason why I think you're seeing a lot of these studios now really starting to commit to 2021 and not trying to do anything in this year, which is why I think we might see some movies get some more online releases for, I guess, more fair pricing down the line, because they've got to make seriously, think about a studio. They've put all this money into these films. They put all this money into their marketing campaigns, and they are set to come out with nothing. I'm telling you right now that they're going to want to try and make as much money as they possibly can, and that is not going to happen until they're able to reopen, and that is just a giant question mark. So according to Deadline, we have an article here: moviegoers highly likely to return to theaters upon reopening. That makes a lot of sense. People have been staying in their homes, hopefully for a very long time, and they want to get out, and a lot of those people want to go see movies and be entertained. I'm really hoping, too, that when all of this blows over, that the studios say, we need more hope-filled films. We need films that people actually want to see. We need to stop pushing agendas and pushing people away. Let's instead make something that the fans actually want to see. But we'll have to wait and see if that actually happened, because that probably won't, because of the way productions work. We probably won't see that impact or effect in the next couple years, most likely. But more than half of these people, so again, people are wanting to return, but more than half will wait a bit, according to a study. So this is an exclusive. A majority of moviegoers definitely plan to head back to the theaters once all of this quells. However, 56% will take their time. So that is, of course, quite large. And a promising news for exhibitors and studios: more than 70% of those polled indicated that they were likely to return to theaters once they reopen, with a substantial 45% saying that they are highly likely to return. At the same time, a combined 45% say that they would come back very soon, broken down as 20% returning immediately and 25% a few days later. However, 45% said they would wait a few weeks to head back to the cinema once they reopen, with 11% of responding saying they would wait several months. So even if you just take this 11% number, that is a huge portion of the box office, because if you even just have a 10% drop in your box office, that is a lot of money. And 10% sounds small on paper, but when you take into account that you're talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry, that ends up resulting in, many, many millions of dollars. And so it's good that a lot of people are definitely likely to go back to the theater, but it is also something, as I mentioned before, theaters are going to have to work it out so that they don't just reopen every single thing all at the same time. They're going to want to take their time with their releases, because if they try and open it up all at once, having all their theaters go full blast with all the same showtimes, and those showtimes are not filling up, and they're still spending that same amount of money on rent and on electricity and on all the overhead costs that it takes to run a theater, it could look very dire for them in the future. But anyway, what are your thoughts about this? Again, big news for me. Top Gun 2 has now been delayed till Christmas, which, hey, Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas to me, because I can't wait to see that movie when it comes out during Christmas. The sad thing is I would have loved to have seen and really wanted to see this film come out over the summer. But this also just goes ahead to show you that pretty much the summer box office is dead, for lack of a better expression, especially when you have, smaller, films for me that are smaller, but definitely are huge money makers in Minions, Rise of Gru, Sing 2, especially for those huge family demographics, are now going to be delayed an entire year. So the summer box office is getting much, much smaller every single passing day, it seems, especially as we really don't know exactly what is going to happen, or rather how long this is going to happen for. And moviegoers are very excited to go to the theater again, but many, many, many of them are thinking to themselves, you know what, even when they reopen, I'm going to wait a little bit to make sure things are actually safe. And yeah, crazy times that we live in. But let me know your thoughts about this and all the things we talked about in the comment section below. Like this video, smash that like button, hit that subscribe. It helps me out a lot. You're all amazing and beautiful people. Have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless. And now a huge shout out to my April Patreon and Subscribe Star members. We have animation commentator Brian P., Dion, Divex, Elizabeth M., Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, Hail Father, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, The Hunker Chunky Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Intertrap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, JJ Jonathan Jerembeck, Kenneth Cameo, Lady T, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mike Jackson, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, Orange Hat Reviews, Outpost Dyer, Perpetual Punster, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Steve Glasker, Teresa Martin, Theodore Bendon, The DJD Show, and Tina B. And to my Subscribe Star members, Robert Revo, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, G2 Cool 99, Dark Star 57, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, J. Rod the Beer Guru, Nebadon G. Adams, and ZK Man. I'm going to go ahead and leave that blank spot just previously in case any more people decide to become a Patreon or Subscribe Star member over the next few days. Just remember that as soon as you sign up, you are immediately eligible for any of the benefits. If you just sign up at the $1 tier on Subscribe Star or Patreon, you get a shout out at the end of every single video, including my live streams. If you're a $5 or up backer on either platform, you get access to exclusive giveaways where I give away several 4K Blu-rays, digital copies every single month as well. If you jump up to the $10 tier on either platform, you get access to all of that, plus you get access to an exclusive podcast that I do with my friend John the Flick Pick of John Flickinger and the Flick Pick fame. We do a bi-weekly podcast, so every 2 weeks or so we do one, so you get probably about 2 or 3 depending on what's going on, probably more so now with everything going on in the craziness of our world, but you do get access to that. Also, if you are at that $10 tier, it means that you get to take part in the Q&A part of that podcast, and so about 24 to 48 hours before the podcast, maybe even longer beforehand, I'll leave a post in the Patreon Subscribe Star. You'll be able to leave a comment on a question that you want us to answer, on a topic that you want us to cover in a future podcast as well. All of that you have access to. And if you're a $25 backer and up, you get all of those things. Plus, you get a t-shirt for your first month. That's right. You get a free t-shirt, high quality Odin's Movie Vlog t-shirt. So just make sure if you're at a $25 and up backer level, you leave your address. That way I know where to send that to. And also I will be messaging you to get your size information. That way I can send that out to you as quickly as possible. But you also get access to an exclusive Chosen of Valhalla live stream that we have once a month on this channel, where I invite you to be on the show. You can either show your face or not show your face, or hey, you don't have to show up at all. It's totally up to you. And we talk about a wide variety of things. We talk about movies that you've been watching, modern things going on, the pop culture, and pretty much anything that you yourself want to talk about. So if any of these things sound interesting to you and things that you'd want to do, please hit that Patreon Subscribe Star link in the description of this video and think about joining today. Have a wonderful day, everybody. And as always, God bless.